Hello internet. I am in Steiglitz. That's the Steiglitz courthouse. I am a little bit confused. There is a track somewhere here. I've managed to find one, but not the one I'm looking for. So we're off to a great start figuring out where the fuck we're going. It's all right though. I have faith. Faith in my ability to find a path. I might be misguided faith, but I do have the faith. WP? I think this is it. Off route. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? Where is the route? Down the road? Oh, okay. So I walk down the road. Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting there. Okay, so I am trying to follow a trail on, was it All Trails? Apparently this is the turnoff. So this is one that gets a lot of use, I can tell. Yeah, now it says we're on the trail again. All right. This feels a bit like a trail that's not really a trail that, you know, the parks department would like me to be using. One that we've just made up. Oh yeah, that's a bit spiky. We even put thorny bushes in the way to try and stop me, but I won't be stopped so easily. Watch me fucking fall down a mine shaft, break my leg, and then die out here because I tried to follow some freaking app. I wouldn't try and use the app. It's not my intention, but the signage was just completely non-existent. So that's a weird thing. Tree, it's been cut down in some way, but yeah, I would prefer to just follow some, you know, signs, but there seemingly weren't any, or at the very least it wasn't clear what trail the signs that were there were for. So we're using the app. Oh, there's one of those trees. I don't know. I'm not a tree identification expert. I don't know what they are, but they're a bit trippy. sort of like a fern type thing, but obviously the leaves are not very ferny, but the sort of short stump, big bushy thing. There you go, there's the remains of a mine shaft. There is another little divot there. I don't know if you can kind of see. Growing up, I didn't grow up in this area, but I did grow up in a mining area, regional. And in school, like primary school and stuff, they'd tell us, you know, if you're ever out bushwalking, don't stray off the trails because you can fall into a mine shaft. To be honest, I haven't heard of that ever happening. I mean, I've heard of it happening, you know, within the whole country, like on the news or something, but I didn't ever hear of it happening like locally or anything. I always think it's funny that was sort of like a big enough risk that it was sort of something they had to tell you in school not to venture off the trails because you might fall down a mine shaft. This is a bit of a cool tree. Yeah, and here I am ignoring that advice, walking off the trail. Size comparison. This was a thick tree, just to round out the mine shaft, falling down a mine shaft potential. And this might be a good example. Now, that might have fully collapsed, but it actually might not have, and underneath that, like grass and stuff, there might still just be a big hole. So if you like actually stood on it, you could fall through, actually fall down quite a ways and hurt yourself. So they can be a little bit deceiving. You know, generally they would have fully collapsed, but as that first one, that one hadn't fully collapsed. There was definitely stuff falling into it, so you got to be careful. What is this sign? I say you've got to be careful. As I keep wandering off the trails, private property to be lit out or something? I don't know. Well, so the app is... oh, no, maybe the app is not. No, okay. Let's keep... maybe it's taking me... yeah, it wants me to go down the road. Alright. We're going down the road again. I've got to say, I do like the fact I've got the whole place to myself. That's nice. But, I mean, walking down the road is just not as interesting as being on a trail. Look at that fucking tree, though. Look at this. Let's do another fat guy tree size comparison here. Far out. This is a fucking tree. There's a birdie. I can't see him, but I can hear him. Where are you, birdie? He's hiding. I sort of prefer to be on a trail than on a road. Even though there's no yet to be a single car come along here. It's just, you know, trails are just a bit more interesting. Anyway, let's get back into it. Yes, Exhibit A of the signage situation. Presumably there was a sign there at one point, but not anymore. Looks like we're going left. There's these red arrows occasionally that I've had to not follow them a few times. I can't resist risking my life again. Going off trail. No water in there. All right, well, my phone says I've just connected to a satellite, so I guess we're out of reception range. Bernhardt Mine. I guess it's that hill there. 130 years ago now, so it was probably all just wooden shacks and stuff. Not unsurprising that Mother Nature has reclaimed whatever the hell was built there. Ooh, there's a kangaroo. We finally saw one. Hello. Wow. Finally, an animal. All right, little fella. I'll see you next time, eh? Look, that's made things worthwhile. I don't actually think that is a kangaroo. Not great with. There's like a little animal. Or maybe it's a maybe it is a type of kangaroo, I'm not sure. Hello. How are you? Mr. or Mrs. Animal? Hey. Oh, you're very cute. Yeah. Yeah, you are. Will you keep sitting there while I get out my other camera? Or will you run off? Or hop off? I guess is what you'd actually do. You will sit there. Thank you. Look at those ears. That's so cute. The way they're like spinning around. Wow. Look at the orange on the back of its head and around its ears. Such a long tail. I feel like I've scared you enough. Well, hopefully not scared you, but you know, you'd probably rather I wasn't here, would be my guess. You're hopping to where I'm going. It's gone past where I am going to go, I think. Somewhere down. I can't see them though. Oh yeah, I can. I'm not following you. I'm following the trail, so don't be too worried. I won't stop this time. You know, from just upstream, not that far, it's looked bone dry. Okay. A little talking head section, injury update section. Injury wise, nothing really to report. Yeah, I was a bit sore after Werribee Gorge. Actually did another walk in between then and this, but I don't know if it'll be uploaded. I was in the Lurdy Dirks Whipstack, I think it was. Whipstack or Whipstick walk. Very nice. Not terribly hard. I mean, there are a few harder sections, but nothing too hard there. So that was 3 days ago I did that. I felt pretty good, so figured why not come out, do another one. And we're here, Steiglitz Historic Park, Steiglitz Steiglitz Historic Park, I don't know. I'm bad with words. We're about halfway through. So far so good. Honestly, the hardest section was at the very start, walking up that road. Otherwise, it hasn't been too bad at all. Signage, not great. Injury-wise, nothing really to report. I mean, you know, my feet are a little sore, but honestly, nothing really to worry about. Calves aren't too bad. Legs aren't too bad. Ankles aren't too bad. It's all going pretty darn well. It's a little bit boring having like an injury update with no injuries to update on. I guess that's the end of the update, guys. So those ones we saw earlier that were dying, they were infected. Interesting. Janine Gann. All right. Leaving the picnic area. Back onto a bloody road. This is where it's like confusing because this is Dead Man's TK, I guess, his track. There's two signs there, two arrows. These arrows, I've only ever seen orange until now, and according to like the sign when I came in, there's 3 different walks, and like Dead Man's is not the one I'm doing. So yeah, it's just signage, and that's yellow on that one, and down the main road, I don't know, it's, the signage here is definitely poor, especially because there appears to be a fair few sections where you're just walking down a road, you know, a dirt road, but still a road that cars would also be on. It's not generally what you'd expect. I mean, maybe it's just me. I feel like I haven't forced you to look at me for much this whole walk, so sucks to be you, but you're gonna have to look at me for a bit. I would not expect to sort of just be walking down a road, and there's not even really, there's no sign, I don't think, on any of the roads to suggest that that's even what you should be doing. I did see a couple of those orange arrows pointing in different directions occasionally, but like there's no sign for which trail the orange arrow relates to or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna say the signage as I slip down this hill. Signage could do with some big improvements around here. Brown and yellow. I mean, presumably it was orange, but still, I will not stop complaining about the signage. Also, yellow. Wasn't there a yellow sign way back up at that bitumen road we'd crossed saying yellow goes down the road? So like, how can it be going this way down here too? There hasn't been any other like intersections on this trail for something else to come back in. So it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, that looks a bit more like a kangaroo. Hey, oh, there you are. Yeah, you're definitely, oh, there's 2 of you. Hey, it's all right. I think this one closer to me is younger, and the one at the back might be a mum. Scratching, having a little scratch. Or just pointing me to your ass and fuck off. Nice. Well, we can conclusively say definitely a bit of wildlife out here. More than I've seen anywhere else, and that's probably because I don't think many people are walking this trail somehow. So they probably don't see too many people and get scared off. Yeah, of everywhere we've been, this is so far the quietest place, which is just fine by me. It means I can, sit here and talk to myself, wander around with a camera strapped to my neck and not feel like as much of an asshole. But it's not the weekend. If I was here on the weekend, it might be different. There might be a few more people getting around. Okay. Oh my God. A bridge. This is surprisingly large piece of infrastructure for this trail. I think this is the first time we've seen anything other than a dirt track that okay, credit where credit's due. The yellow and brown, probably formerly orange markers are at least somewhat consistent here. But the thing is, there's not been any intersections with anything else. I mean, it is nice to have them periodically just to say, yeah, you're going in the right direction, but like, there's only been one way to go for every one of those last few since we crossed that road. So, yeah. It's a nice view. We're not that far from a very small town, but you wouldn't know it. Cannot see a single sign of human activity except for this trail that we're walking on. Here's the better version of that view. Huh. Give you a bit more of a track view for this. What is this tree? It's growing up the side of the rock. Huh. That's cool. Okay. Well, that was a bit of a journey down. Wow. I mean, this would be flowing water after heavy rain. Would make the walk a little difficult. Wow. There's big rocks and everything. I have to assume there's not. Oh yeah, they're slippery. Alright. I would prefer to not slide down here and break my ass. So we'll just take it very carefully, just to be safe. Whew. This is what I just very slowly meandered down. Yeah, I mean, this is cool. This is failed to get up. Aside from seeing the kangaroo, or the two kangaroos, and then the two, whatever they were, wallabies maybe. This is probably the coolest spot of the walk so far. It's nearly over, so I suspect this will be it. This will be one, or at least one of the coolest spots. We were like all the way up there not too long ago, and now we are down here. And that means that to go from down here to up there, we got to go up. I'm getting a bit sweaty, as you can see. We are nearly over, nearly through the walk. But yeah, I would definitely say, you know, the technical side, this is the hardest sort of terrain that we've seen the whole way through. Yellow only. Well, where are you supposed to go if you're following orange? What happened to orange/brown? There was nowhere else to go, unless you're walking along the creek maybe, but I can't imagine that's it. Because there'd be water in there periodically. Anyway. Now we've got yellow and orange again. Yeah, I'm starting to get a bit worn down now. It's very close to the end, so not a problem, but wow. It's just it's nice. Nice place to be, not so nice to walk on these rocks, but nice view. This feels like, you know, not somewhere you'd want to start sliding, lose your footing and start sliding. It's just slide right off a cliff there. And that'd be a day wrecker. I wouldn't want to do that. Thrilling as the ride down would be. And look, here's a... Let's go this way. It's a bit further away from the fucking cliff of instant death. Yeah. Wow. Nice. Wow. That's nice. That's the third theoretical river crossing. Now, obviously, I don't think water flows through here much, but you'd be a bit wet trying to do this after a bit of rain. Oh, okay. I was a bit further from the end than I thought. Wrixon Street. Guys, there's nothing there. Like, why? Why is there a sign? One of the few signs. It's pointing to nowhere, essentially. This is like, I think it's Parks Victoria Park that they're trying to get a found footage horror movie from, with like signage that makes no sense. Wrixon Street probably leads to a fucking abandoned orphanage where 5,000 children died or something and is haunted, and you know, just trying to trick poor unsuspecting walkers like me into walking into the haunted asylum. But I am wise to their tricks. I will continue. I will continue on the path. I will not be baited into walking into an unpathed piece of bushland wherever the fuck that street was taking me. Barry Street. Oh yeah. Sweet. Barry Street, that way. What the fuck is with these signs? There's nothing there. Maxwell Street? For Maxwell Street, I will give them that there is at least something resembling a path there. So they have that. Of all the lies they've told me, that's relatively minor. I'm gonna go up to this sign because I did come down here initially and decided this is not where I wanted to be, because I'm pretty sure this is only gonna say Deadman's Trail, I think it's called. Yeah, Deadman's Loop, which is not what I was aiming for. So I didn't come down here, but that would have been the correct way to go. Even on this side, I don't know, man. It's just not great signage. Ooh. My back is sore, particularly my left shoulder blade. Look, whinging about the signage aside, definitely a solid walk. I'd read online people were saying, you know, go clockwise, and I ended up going anti-clockwise, not because I wanted to, but because I just couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go, where the trail was. Like I showed that sign just before, it only says Deadman's Walk down there that way, which is where you'd go if you were going clockwise. And I was doing the longer walk. So yeah, the signage is honestly arse, but it was really nice to see some kangaroos, and I think they were wallabies. Solid workout at the end. I was really getting worn out. Made it. That's the important thing. Feel good that I made it. Oh, and the section at the end I think is probably the most pretty. Also the most challenging. The sort of other big climbs were on roads. All in all, it was a good day out. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have watched all the way through, you have my respect, a salute to you for getting through this. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.